Who is most likely to lose their cool in a difficult situation?
What?
Totally.
No.
Totally.
No way.
Totally.
This is a blatant lie, guy.
No, totally. Believe the mother.
Okay. We've also chosen an industry that's very, very male dominated.
I remember my father, when I was seeing my husband, he was my boyfriend back then. My father met him once and he was like so kadak. I think Jackie was like frozen solid.
I've been very blessed, of course, with having the platform that I do have, thanks to the legacy my family is.
Either I marry him or I never get married.
Honestly, mom is definitely the backbone of the family. She binds us together, and my brother, my father, and myself were all very aware of the fact that things will fall apart without her.
I take credit to change the look of Indian films. I've gotten into street fights back in the day with my husband.
I gotta stop her.
Yeah,
I need to hold her hand.
My fingers are like quick gun Murugan, Really, I'm itching to give it back, left, right, and center.
But I always say, people's opinions about you doesn't make it your reality. So you do have to be a bit thick-skinned.
That's true. My children are wiser than I am. Hi, this is Ayesha Shroff.
This is Krishna Shroff, and you're watching us on
Midday.
Hello everyone, welcome to another episode of Midday's Powerful Women Season 3, and today we're in conversation with the lovely boss ladies, Krishna Shroff and Ayesha Shroff, ma'am. Hello ladies, how are you?
Hello.
Hi, thanks for having us.
Thank you so much for inviting us to your studio. I think this is a wonderful vicinity. Basically, I'm sure you've been asked a billion times ever since you started this, but briefly, if you could tell us.
Yeah, briefly, I've been following the sport, which is mixed martial arts, for a very long time now, over a decade, honestly. And, sports has always really been at the core of who I am. But MMA specifically has really stood out to me, not just for the physicality of it, but also the mental strength that these guys and girls possess. It takes a very special human being to do what these guys and girls do and get into the cage and perform, And it takes a highly skilled individual as well, a very intelligent individual to be able to think in that moment, and implement form and technique and a game plan and things like that. It's a very intriguing sport to me. And these athletes, they inspire me immensely, I think there's so much talent that goes unnoticed within our country because of the lack of infrastructure or the lack of promotion and marketing for these guys and girls. So I think that was the idea of Matrix Fight Night.
And having your mom on board for something like this.
Absolutely. Not just on board. She's the queen. She's the leader. I just follow.
Ma'am, if I may ask you, because, you're a mother and daughter, so keeping those dynamics aside of a door where there's a business meeting or professional commitments to be made, how do you strike a balance between that? Because you can obviously go home and have a word about certain things, but how do you maintain the decorum when you're operating professionally?
Well, it's something that comes very naturally to us, I think, because both of us are passionate about this business that we run together. And she has her strengths, I have mine. And wherever either of us falls short, the other one steps in, So I think we're a great team, honestly. The thing is, she knows exactly how I think, how I like things to be done. And I would say the same goes for me. So we are very much on the same page when it comes to work. So it's not really a problem for us because I just believe that what we're doing with so much of honesty that I think that's where our success lies.
And it shows.
Thank you.
Ma'am, I'm sure the two of you must have encountered a set of challenges, maybe a bunch of naysayers along the way because, sometimes you're just told certain things because you're a woman. So when you have these elements coming in between where, you're often mansplained about doing your work, how do you tackle that?
And it's not just that. We've also chosen an industry that's very, very male dominated. But I think, my inspiration is my mother. She's the strongest woman I know. And, just being able to be the way she is and project that energy and that poise and just always being in so much control, no matter what's happening in our lives, has really inspired me. And you know, her strength. I mean, I strive to have her strength, at least 50% of it, to be honest. And I think, you know, when I always say you're as good as the company that you keep, and I'm blessed with the best.
True, absolutely true.
Goes for me too. My mother has been my inspiration as well. So, you know, it's a very mother-daughter thing, I think.
Mhm.
And my mother has never once told me that you're a girl, so you can't be doing this. And I've never told my daughter once ever that you're a girl, you can't be doing this either.
I mean, women
So-
are just as capable, if not more, than a man. I
Yeah.
believe.
I mean, we're not here, you know, to bang on about gender equality and stuff like that. I think that's a very done to death discussion, honestly.
True.
And it's just about being the best you can be at the job you're doing. As simple as that. Man, woman, whatever, you know.
Ma'am, like you mentioned, gender equality, you know, you are one of the few women who stand at the forefront of making sure gender equality reflects at home. And although it's a reality of Indian households, you know, girls or boys are discriminated or treated a certain way right from birth. How do you challenge these norms and put your perspective into place, because you are raising a boy and a girl at the same time?
That's true. Well, I don't want to put my opinions on anybody, but just from the way that you know, I take care of my family. For me, the most important thing is respect. You know, and it's mutual respect. Whether it's husband, wife, whether it's brother, sister, I think everything stems from that, honestly. And you know, my kids, they are the naughtiest kids, and they're the best kids, you know. So I see the love my son has for his sister, and I know that my daughter is she's the ultimate champion of my son, and that's what tells me that I have brought them up the right way. So we've never in our household. My husband is such a loving person. He's naughty as well. But you know, the respect he has for women, the love he has for his daughter. If there's anybody who can get him to do anything on this planet, it's my daughter. You know, so I think it just comes from love and respect ultimately. And I don't want to bang on about, you know, how you bring up your children, boy, girl, whatever. You know, it's like I said, it's just about respect. I think that's more important than anything.
You know, Krishna, your dad has really set the bar for you when it comes to choosing a significant other. I'm sure a lot of women also encounter that in their lives. But you being you, how do you channelize his, you know, the way you perceive him or the way he is projected in your life? How do you channelize that in your personal life when you're probably thinking about, okay, maybe I should be with this person, or maybe this person is a complete red flag? How do you channelize that?
I think, you know, what I love so much about my father is how much respect he has for people of all walks of life. It doesn't matter who they are, where they come from. He's able to, you know, respect everyone the same way, treat everyone the same way. And I think that's definitely something I really value in another person. Also, I think we've been such a close-knit family. It's just been the four of us, my father, my mother, my brother, and myself. So, you know, our family values, they're very, very strong. And I think I would definitely, I mean, something that I look for is someone who also shares those similar values, and it's family above all.
Ma'am, I want to take you back to your childhood, because you come from a progressive household. Your dad was in the Indian Air Force. So I'm sure those values that you have grown up with, you've obviously, you know, inculcated them while raising your own kids. But how were the family dynamics back then? Because coming from that family, you chose to be with a Jackie Shroff. So how were things back then? Because you made that choice for yourself.
Absolutely, and I think I made the absolute right choice as well. You know, like Krishna says, you know, we don't really look at you know, who's wealthy, who's not so wealthy, whatever. For us, it's more about the kind of person you are, you know. And well, I remember my father, when I was seeing my husband, he was my boyfriend back then. My father met him once and he was like so kadak. I think Jackie was like frozen solid. That first
I
meeting,
can't imagine my dad like
that first
that.
meeting. But you know, and yes, there was some kind of a hiccup there. But then ultimately, I told my mother, I said, you know, this guy he's the guy I love. He's a very good guy. I know he will keep me happy no matter what. So either I marry him or I never get married. Choice is yours, mom. So, and then she, being her daughter, she knew there was no point really arguing at this point further, and she gave in. And I think I was proven more than right. And yeah, that's it.
Ma'am, you also ventured into production. You know, you did not just stick to being known as someone's wife. You did try to carve an individuality for yourself. Obviously, things didn't turn in your favor back then. But are you keen to enter into that field right now when women are just taking charge of production houses and, putting stories of other women on the big screen?
I love watching what the women in the business are doing nowadays, honestly, and it's so heartening to see. I think I had my time, and I brought some path-changing new things to the film industry. I was the first producer to bring sync sound to the Indian film industry. I was the first producer to bring the concept of a first AD. I also had my DOP was from Australia, so I take credit to change the look of Indian films. From what was essentially very flat lighting back in those days to bringing that glossy look
Yes.
to the movies. So I have nothing to complain about. I had a great innings. I enjoyed my stint as a producer. I tell my children some of my happiest moments have been spent on a movie set. And now I'm very happy to see my son shining in this field. And I take a back seat and watch him, and my daughter doing her reality space as well. And for me as a mother, I feel fulfilled.
Fantastic. That was so inspiring. Krishna, you've always been someone who puts your personal life on public platform, which is, again, it's absolutely unexpected to coming from, a star family, if I may say. But you're very confident about it. And despite, the negative aspects of it, you choose to do what you want, being largely associated with known as, because obviously whatever you do, the headlines are Jackie Shroff's daughter did so and so or did so and so. Despite of that, you just have your own way. Are you expected to behave a certain way when you're on public platforms, or is it just you being you out there?
To be very honest with you, every aspect of my life is something I'm very proud of, which is why I don't hesitate to share that. So I think the little bit of, the following and support that I've been able to garner has purely been because of that authenticity and trying to stay as real and true to myself as possible. I think that's been able to make me more relatable. And it's, something that I'm just going to continue to do. I don't shy away from that. And, I think I'm pretty well aware of, the line between good taste and bad taste, and I'll never cross that line. So, as long as I'm not, being insensitive or hurting anyone along the way, I don't think there's anything wrong in it.
Ma'am, since both of your kids are, on public platforms, and I'm sure despite the positive things that are written about them, the negatives are also a part and parcel of this life and journey. But when you, as a mother, read these things or, things that are written about the trolling or the negative headlines about your children, does it infuriate you?
Oh,
I
understatement.
gotta stop her.
Yeah,
I need
yeah.
to hold her hand.
My fingers are like quick gun Murugan, Really, I'm itching to give it back left, right, and center,
But they want that reaction.
Yeah,
it
exactly.
It just adds fuel to the fire.
Exactly. The thing is that, these people, and then my children tell me, Mom, it doesn't matter. Does it even matter, And the thing is that I just wish that there was less hate out there, Why don't you try doing even a fraction of of what my children are doing? The hard work, the discipline, 365 days of the year, Just thoda karke dikhao, phir baat kar le, Then you have the haq to talk. but you cannot do it. Forget it. You can't even do it. So what gives you the right to point fingers? So yeah, that irritates me. And I used to find Twitter or X or whatever it's called right now the most negative. I was quite active on Twitter, but it was just so filthy that it was making me physically sick. So I, what do you call it? I deactivated my account and stuff like that. So I'm on Instagram. There you can choose who you want, and whatever. So it's fine.
But I always say, I mean, people's opinions about you doesn't make it your reality, So
Yeah.
you do have to be a
Yeah.
bit thick-skinned.
That's true. My children are wiser than I am, for sure.
We
Yeah.
come from the digital age.
So both of you have been in these leadership roles with MMA and all of that. But if you have to encourage other women to take on similar roles, because every girl just wakes up trying to think, like, okay, I'm going to do this job, I'm going to probably do a 9 to 5, or like 4 selective arenas that they want to get into. This is absolutely different. So if you have to encourage to someone to think outside the box, what would you say?
Do it, honestly. And as long as there's honesty and integrity behind that, you're going to see the longevity in it.
Yes.
I've been very blessed, of course, with having the platform that I do have, thanks to the legacy my family is and has. I've been able to kind of experiment and explore my passions and kind of have that head start to it. But honestly, if you have an idea, if you believe in it, if your intent comes from a pure place, I say go for it, do it. You never want to look back and regret not having tried something, and life is a game of trial and error. So it's okay to take those risks, make those mistakes, and then learn from them.
Absolutely.
If you would like to add anything to that.
Couldn't have said it better, honestly. The only thing I would advise is never reach a point in life where you look back and have regrets and say, if only I had tried. Because, okay, you may fail, but what if you make it a huge success, So why don't you look at it that way?
Ma'am, like you earlier said, you've taken a back seat because the 3 of them are actively in showbiz and doing their thing. But it takes a great amount of security to feel secure that, my husband is out there doing his thing, my kids are out there. How do you tackle that, that haphazardness where you feel like, oh my God, is this going to work out for them? Do I need to be with them all the time? How do you maintain that security? How do you be secure with yourself?
Well, I think all 3 of them are incredibly intelligent people and very, very solid heads on their shoulders. I love thinking that I'm indispensable. I'm sure I'm not, but for me, I have been a very hands-on mother ever since they were babies, and I think it's time now for me to be the baby in the family and get all the pampering from the 3 of them, and I'm just enjoying this time in my life.
No, but honestly, mom is definitely the backbone of the family. She binds us together, and my brother, my father, and myself were all very aware of the fact that things will fall apart without her.
And the 2 of you, since we're celebrating Midday Powerful Women, if you have to say, what does power mean to you? What does it mean to be powerful? What would you say?
I think your biggest power is having the love and support of your family to begin with. I think your big power is to be financially independent as a woman. I'm not saying that, you need to be earning more than your husband or your boyfriend or whatever, but have your own little bank on the side, That's very, very important. And I think power is being able to smile through everything that life throws at you and walk through with your head high.
That's a good one. That's a really good one.
Yeah.
For me, I think power is freedom. Freedom of just having the freedom, like I've had in my life, to be able to explore my passions and just be blessed to have those experiences, to see what works for me, what doesn't work for me. I think freedom is everything.
Fantastic. Now we're going to have a quick game. Who's most likely to?
Ooh, I like those.
So, who is most likely to lose their cool in a difficult situation?
What? Totally.
No.
No way. Totally.
No way.
Totally.
This is a blatant lie, guy.
No, totally. Believe the mother.
Okay.
Who is most likely
Can't play
to
the mom
cheat
card.
on their diet?
Cheat on their diet. 100%.
Me.
100%.
Okay. Who is most likely to crack a joke in a serious situation?
This one.
Yeah.
Who is most likely to win an argument? Okay, we see the queen.
I let you win.
Whatever, but I win.
Who is most likely to binge watch a TV show in a day?
Mom.
Both of us, actually.
I think you more though.
But me more.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
Who is most likely to leave a Bollywood party first?
100%.
Me.
Who is most likely to speak their mind on social media?
Yeah.
I expected you, honestly.
Yeah.
No, I control.
Yeah.
I would have, but I control.
And finally, who is most likely to get into an MMA fight?
Me. I've gotten into street fights back in the day with my husband in the good old days.
Yeah, but you didn't have
Yeah.
social media. You
Yeah,
know,
yeah, exactly.
Freedom. There you
Freedom,
go.
freedom. That's right. Exactly.
And that is a wrap. Thank
Thank
you so
you.
much.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.
Subscribe to Midday India. Get direct notifications on all our videos by clicking on the bell icon.